Okay, up next in making the MOOC, and it's actually a few days since I actually did this, so I might forget some details, but I hope not. But I want to look at calendaring and activities. Now, in the MOOC, and we'll go to the MOOC here, we have a list of activities. Where are they? Events is what I've called them here, course events. Now, what I want this to be is something that people can set up and calendar. So in here, in Grasshopper itself, I've created event as a specifically separate category. And I created all of the individual events for the MOOC. So for example, and this is the event that happened yesterday, set it up, and so we had the start time, the end time, see, and I just set it up on the calendar. Quick description, type of event, and I have the option of including resources. I associated it with a module. I could associate it with the course. I could associate it with a post or media, but I didn't. Should probably associate it with a video of the event that took place after the fact, right? Yeah, there's a thought. So resources. So I don't have presentation, which is how I'm presenting videos, as an event type, or an event field here. So why don't I actually just do that? So let's go into the file, or no, the forms, and then the form that we're looking at is event, and the tab is resources, course, keylist, module, post. So instead of media, I'll make this presentation. Okay, now this is probably something that I would normally do after the fact. And actually, while I'm in here for presentation, why don't I associate presentations with events? I probably could do that. So where would I put that here? Could go anywhere really, but I like it to go with things that author, post, marker. This is all one big. Oh no, there's the tab publish. Yeah, let's put it in the publish tab. I can change these later if I don't like it. So, okay. Content, tab, preview. All right. So, and this will be event, key list. Okay. So that does that. So now let's go to the presentation. Yeah, I'm recording, right? Yeah, I'm still good. Yeah, 3:40. Okay, so let's go into the presentation. Now, for some reason, I don't know why yet, Grasshopper always crashes when I go into the form data. It's a problem I have to solve. It's easily fixed simply by reloading, but it's annoying and it shouldn't happen. So let's look at the presentations that we have. Now, this is the presentation I did yesterday, and it's associated, so it was in the publish tab, and it's associated with an event, and the events just dropped down. So it was the module 1 introduction overview of the course. So there we go. And I could actually add that to the view of the presentation if I wanted, but we'll address that in a different video because that's coming up. So, all right, so let's come back to the event now. So let's list the events, and we'll look at the one that I just did. And it should show up here now. There's the associated presentation. So now I want to display the event, and I want to display it in a useful way. So we'll look at that. So, and actually let's have a look at one of these events right now. So, oops, that's not it. So let's go to the introduction module. And here it is. And here are our activities. So here's the event that we've been working on. I should get my terminology together, right? Is it an activity or an event? Okay, so here it is. Now, a couple things to note. Now, I was messing around with this before. I had overlooked it, but so it tells us, here's the quick description, tells us when it begins, when it ends. That's clearly a mistake. Don't know what that's there for. But it also has the capacity to add it to a calendar. And this actually does work. I love that. This actually does work. There we go. See, and I can add it. I can add it here. So that's nice. To view this event and to join the event in Zoom, click here. So let's look at how we set that up. So we come back to the editor. There's the URL is to join it in Zoom, right? And to view the event live, that just takes you to the activity center. So obviously now we have something else happening in the activity center, so we can't view it live anymore. But it doesn't matter if this is still here, and I don't know what that is. So let's look at the view associated with this event. So if you filter, I'll just make life easier for myself. Event. All right, so event HTML is the view that we're looking at. So, okay, add to calendar. All right, so new date, event start 000. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is the script here that creates this nice calendar pop-up. I had to add 3 zeros here because the calendar pop-up requires the start not just in seconds, but in milliseconds. I don't know why. I really don't see the point, and I just was able to throw some zeros and I'm fine. So here's begin, here's ends, script type. Okay, yeah, this imports the script for this. So we import the script and then we add the event. Still don't know what's producing that. Okay, one of the things I had to do when I was messing around with this is I had to go into the database and change it from start to begin. And this again, and it's a long-standing problem, is start is a search term. You know, where do you want your records to start? Where do you want them to finish? And it's also a property of an event. So these two were getting confused. So for events, I simply used begin instead of start. That papers over the problem, but it does not eliminate it. Don't know where that extra bit of code is though, so that's really weird. So let's put some just some indicators in here. Okay, now I'll reload this. This is just me doing some diagnostics on the fly. Alright, PQR, so it's after R. Okay, PQR, where did I put that P? There it is. So I know it's after R. Let's put a P and let's put a Q in here now. So we're still trying to figure out where it is. Okay, so it's showing up. This is what it is. So it's in our script somewhere. It's between R and P. So add to calendar. I don't know why that problem exists. I don't know why it's showing that. But it's definitely doing it. And I don't even know where it would come from. Let's look at the source. Okay. So we'll view the source. Just try to figure this. It's not a big deal, but it's annoying. Begins, ends, new date. Okay, so it's right after that script thing there. So let's see now. Button code. No, still not seeing it. How weird is that? It appears to be happening right here. Okay, let's see if it's there. See if it's between the two W's. Yeah, it's just trying to figure this out. There's one W. Oh, and there's the other W right inside the add calendar. So it's before the first W that it's coming up. And is it here or here? It's between F and E. So the F is here, the E is here. So script. Oh, this is my script. Right. No. This must be a document right event to string. Okay, var event equals new date. Right, okay, here we go. This is the problem. This is my script. And I've been experimenting with just writing it using JavaScript. Right, okay, so there we go. That's where our problem lay. I can get rid of all my markers here. So, where did it go? Oh, here we go. So this is not part of the button code. This is just something that I added. So event to string. So this was failing to write event to string. Event, new date, event start. I wonder if I can see. I don't think I'm able to see the actual script there, am I? View selection source. Nope. No, it just shows me the output, I think. No, new date 000. Oh. Var event equals new date 000. Oh, okay. New date event start plus 000. Let's try that. Maybe I can't just add 000 on it. Nope, didn't like that. Okay, so what if I tried just event start? Now it's going to give me some date way back in the 1970s, I'm sure. But we'll just try it. Oh, no, gave it to me. There, okay. All right, so I can leave that. I don't know why I needed the plus 000. Well, I know why. I thought I needed to put the millidate in, but I guess if I don't, or the milliseconds, if I don't, it doesn't interpret this as a ridiculously low value for time. It interprets it properly, so that's nice. Okay, so I can ignore that problem now. Okay, so add to calendar, and I got this from addevent.com. And it's pretty simple. It's free. It's no big deal to use it. I could, and I considered downloading the script. See here, I'm bringing in the source from here. Really, what I should be doing is downloading the source and putting that on my own website. And the reason for that is so that when people access this page, they're not doing a hit on some third-party web source or web service that may be tracking them. I don't want them to track them. All right, so we have that. And so it's in my to-do list. Get that script, put it in the list of scripts that are included with Grasshopper. Just as an aside, I'm not totally sure on how to go about that, because when I distribute the code, I distribute it on GitHub. I don't want to take somebody else's code, in this case the code from Advent, and put it in my GitHub. I don't know if I have the right to do that, and it's just not good practice anyways. So I'd really rather get the code from them and put it in. So how to do that? Well, there may be a way of importing it from their GitHub if they have a GitHub, but they might not have a GitHub. So how do I set that up? There are scripts or services or products, whatever you want to call them, that take as input the list of these scripts that I want to include. And when they set up the website for the first time, all I put in the GitHub is this list of scripts, and then the service will grab these scripts and put them in the appropriate directory for me. That's what I'd like to do. But I don't know how to do that yet. So I can't do that just yet. Otherwise, I could try to create a really nice button like this on my own. And I could, I suppose, but it seems like an awful lot of extra work for something that already exists. And I'm not sure I could do as good a job. So that's what we've got for now. So there's another thing. We come back here. The event. Oops, we come back here. The event. We have. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Oh, this is the view text, isn't it? Okay. So let's go back to the event, list events. So here's the event. And you see we have URL for Zoom. Now what that involved me doing was going to Zoom. So let's go to Zoom. Oops. And so I went to Zoom. Now we've done already a thing on how I set up Zoom for the events in this course, so I don't need to go over that again. But am I logged in at the moment? I'm not sure. My account. Yep, I'm logged in. So here's my list of upcoming events. What I had to do is create all of these events individually. So here's the event. Well, it's in the past now, so events previous. I keep forgetting to record these, but I don't need to record them because I'm recording them in other ways, but still. When I create the event, that's what creates the invite link, right? And so then I've been taking this invite link, copying it from here, and pasting it into there. This has the unhappy result that for every event I actually have to define it twice. What I'd like to do and so I need to think about how to write some code for this, is to just simply have a button or something like this to schedule in Zoom that would automatically generate the event for me using the data here and return this URL, which it could then place in all of the calendars. That's what I'd like. I think that would be pretty good. Now, there's one more challenge that I had with events, and then we'll wrap up this video. And that was with the list of events, course events. So here's the list of events in the course, and no problem, I can click on any of those and I get the nice event page. Well, I get the event page. It's arguable whether it's nice or not. But the thing is, I want to be able to have people put the entire course into their calendar rather than having to click on each event one at a time. So to do that, I need to create an ICS file. So here's what the ICS file looks like, and we'll open it with Note tab so we can see it. So here it is. So this is horrible to work with. Now the reason why I had to do that is because I couldn't figure out a way of using add event to create a button for a whole series of events. It just takes them one event at a time. So I had to manually create this for myself. And the way I did that was I went back into Grasshopper and I created a view. And again, we'll just make life easier for ourselves here. Submit. Okay, so, and I created a view called Event ICS. So here it is. Now this is each individual event. So this is showing one event at a time. The DT start, or the start. Input date time. Now I had to specify date time as the input. That's the input that looks it doesn't look like this. It looks more like something like this: 2021 10 13 and 12, like that, right? Normally for dates I would input a Unix style date. Here I'm inputting date time, and then I define what that time is, event begin. So event begin in the event database is stored in the date time format. DT stamp, by contrast, is stored in the ICS format. So, and this is true of events generally. You're messing around with, and dates generally, you're messing around with different formats. There's a whole range of things. The way I handle this inside Grasshopper is I have a script that I've written and continually mess around with called auto dates. And here's auto dates. So it's reading the date tag in the script, and then it parses the script, everything that follows that date tag. And so you see, we look for the different type of input, either input, date time. Now I had to write this text here for the purpose of this course in order to input the date time. I had date, but I didn't have date time. And then once we have that, so we have, by the time we get down to here, we have a canonical version of time that all the scripts will use, and now I can output it in any of these types of formats. And I had ISC already, so I didn't have to rewrite that. So nice and nice with hour, those are my formats that I use. Time is just the epoch time, that is the number of seconds since midnight, January 1, 1970. RFC 822 is for RSS. time zone date, that's for the date picker. Date picker is, again, the same time zone date. ISOs and ISO format, ICS for calendar. ISO-H is a version of ISO that includes the hour and minute, etc. Or it creates an error. You always have to test for that. You know, and there's, I could expand on that. I could expand on the types of input. I could expand on the types of output. The nice thing is, this is my script, so I can adapt it as I need to. And so that's what I had to do. And in fact, while we're looking at this, I'm going to take this that I did add. I'm going to go to GitHub. So let's go to GitHub. And we'll go to the script in question. Where was that script in question? Auto dates is in dates.pl. Okay. So we'll go to GitHub, and it's in HTML/CGI bin/editor/dates.pl. I'm going to edit this code, and so now we'll see. Scroll this so I can work better. Times of auto dates. So you see I had date. Let's make sure we get our brackets properly. And I'm going to input the new date time possibility option. Okay. And so that's the change that I added. So date time, dates PL, added an extended description, support for date time input option. Commit. So now anyone who uses this code after will have that option available as well. Another thing that was really annoying is this version, ICS, is really particular. So I created each one of these individual events, and then list a page here. I created a page for the full set of events. So course calendar ICS is what I called it. So here's all the headers for the calendar, including the time zone definition. This is awful to work with because you have to do, you begin your time zone, you do a time zone definition, then you have to specify for standard and daylight. Now, in fact, the start and the end are just the same. It doesn't matter. This DT start is when in the year standard begins. This DT start is when in the year daylight begins. If those change, I have to change this template. So that's all the header, and then now I include here each one of the ICS format for each one of the events. So database event format ICS, number equals 1,000. Because I don't think I'll have more than that. Sort equals begin, so I want them arranged in chronological order according to when they begin, and then that lists them. Now, there's two things about ICS that I had to mess around with. ICS, first of all, cannot have any blank lines, which is a problem because I was incorporating into my ICS for individual events text from the description field, and the description field, if we look at this, make list events. So here we go. Here's the description field, and I use this editor. This editor puts paragraphs around whatever is in here, and that inserts blank lines. So that's a problem. The other problem is that in the format, each line must end with what they call a carriage return. So, or another way of expressing it is CRLF, and not just what we use normally in Unix, which is LF, line feed, which I use for all of my files because it's generally good practice just to keep carriage return code out of your program. Especially in scripts, your script won't even run on a Unix system if it has carriage returns in it. It can only have line feeds. But ICS files have to have CRLFs in them. So I had to go in and change, let's see if I can remember where I did this, some format, let's see, ICS, way too much to search for, format equals ICS, else if format equals ICS, no, format equals ICS, nope, rats. Well, it's going to be in format records somewhere. So let's go to the editor, let's go to format, and let's see if ICS is in this file somewhere. Here we go, ICSify. So I had to add this bit of script. You see, in RSS, you have to do some things, and actually I have a whole script which will format it specifically for RSS, and I had to write this extra script so that my page would format properly in ICS. Specifically, I removed any HTML. I just thought that would be a smart idea. And then removing all blank lines. You have to limit each line. The actual limit is 55 characters, but I limited it to 53 just in case. And then you have to add CRLF at the end of each line. Super picky. So that's more code I added. So we'll come back to GitHub. And we'll come back to it's in editor, format, and we'll edit this, and see, now we'll have to come down here. Oh, I'll just look for RSSify. Control F, RSSIFY. Pretty sure it's there somewhere. RSSIFY. RSSIFY. It's format.pl, yeah. Format.pl. RSSI. Huh. Oh, that's kind of weird. Well, oh yeah, right. The search doesn't work for stuff that's inside this text field. That's the problem. I've had that problem before. It's very annoying because, it just makes it hard to search for stuff. So let's see, how far down the file is it? It's about maybe a quarter of the way down the file. This tells me I should have I should break this down even into shorter items. But okay, let's come back here. So it's about a quarter of the way down, so not all the way down like this. Okay, so format record. Okay, I think it's probably format content. Format, skip for JavaScript, clean up, strip HTML. Well, there's RSSify at the near the end. I can't tell where I am here. That's the problem, right? I'm working with something inside something. See, so format record. How annoying is this? Format content. Here we go. See, I even have support for Wikipedia, which I haven't used for like ever. There we go. RSSify, ICSify. We'll just add that. Stay on page. That was an accident. Okay. Add support for .ics. Page output. No blank line. 55 char line limit. Terminate with CRLF. I'll actually just say CRLF. All right, and I'll commit those changes. And so now I've brought the script up to date. So that basically is the work that I needed to do. And so now I'm able to, I have my page, and so I can just publish my page, and it publishes the output in an ICS file, and then I have another page that links to that page so that people can just click on it. So here's the other page, courseactivities.htm, and it links to coursecalendar.ics. Here's coursecalendar.ics, and you can see none of the lines is longer than 55 characters. You see how they've been cut off even here. No white spaces, and if you looked carefully, you can't really see it, but well, you can't see it. Let's try this. Okay, search, replace. Yeah, well, I won't let me do that. It's not going to let me replace? That's really weird. Okay, well, whatever. If you could get that replace in there. Search. Huh. Replace seems to be broken. I don't. This is not even my code, so I don't care, but I've never seen that before. So maybe because it's in a temp file. So I'll just save that here. Maybe now it'll let me replace. Yeah, here we go. So see, I'll do a quick replace, and we can see after Toronto. Right, so here it's just a paragraph marker, which is CRLF. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. At least I think it's pretty interesting. All right. So that's basically it. Now I can take my activities as well. I put them into my newsletter and the module pages, etc. So here we have the module page. You see the activities. We link on the activities, go to the discussion, and all of that. And it works. You can add it into your calendar. You can get the whole calendar of the course into your own calendar. It doesn't matter what calendar it is, because it's any calendar that supports ICS, which, so far as I know, is all of them. But I'd still rather have a nice button like this. I still don't know really how to do that. I could probably deconstruct the JavaScript that Add Event does, but you know, a lot of work, little return. So it's lower on my list of priorities. So that's events or activities for me. And we'll move on to the next topic in another video.